beware of what lurks behind the next door. It might be a good time to go to the bathroom. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 scariest video game bosses. For this list, we're looking at some of the most terrifying creatures video games have ever seen. Since some horror games have multiple terrifying foes, only one entry per franchise will be allowed. Number 20. The Thing from the Stars, Darkest Dungeon.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
We can hear you asking, just what the hell is that thing? What you're looking at is an eldritch creature that somehow snuck its way into an already spine-tingling turn-based beast of a game. This horrifying construction of a horse, human, and crystal is one of the toughest mini-bosses to stem from the Color of Madness. Boasting a high resistance to stun and capable of inflicting massive stress onto your party.
A shard of alien malignity.
On top of that, it can take 2 turns and cure itself of any ailments, while attacking. Best come up with a solid plan before hunting it down, assuming you even want to risk the challenge. We'll take our chances elsewhere.
Begone, fiend.
Number 19. The Cleaver, Dementium the Ward. Nightmarish creatures seem to fit right in, since the game takes place in a nightmare. A faceless, ghoulish monstrosity, the Cleaver gets its name, like most other creatures in this game, from his appearance. With a cleaver in place of his left hand, and an acid-filled syringe in the other, it is capable of both ranged and melee attacks. Trapped in the room with you, his large stomping and heavy grunting fills the room, determined to hunt you down and make you another one of his victims. Number 18. Eddie Gluskin, aka The Groom, Outlast Whistleblower.
Die.
Some secrets are better left buried, but when you have an asylum filled to the brim with horrifying experiments on already psychologically damaged patients, maybe someone should blow the whistle. Eddie Gluskin is one of the many disturbed patients roaming the halls, though he is more prone to violence, given his serial killer past.
Love isn't for everybody.
Due to his desire to find the perfect woman, he has taken to torturing and capturing male patients and performing mutilation, and he has the hots for you. In a relentless pursuit that spans most of the expansion, he almost succeeds in taking you as his bride. Thankfully, the wedding is off.
You're not what you're meant to be. This place can see into your mind.
Number 17. High Lord Wolnir, Dark Souls 3. For a time, skeletons in video games seem to have lost their edge. They just don't feel as scary anymore. Thankfully, Dark Souls 3 was there to remind us that the bony undead can be truly frightening. After touching a mysterious chalice, you are transported to a world of darkness. What awaits you is this giant skeletal being, his fingers larger than your body, with skulls adorned on his chest. Not scary enough for you? This guy barely takes any damage, and your only chance to make it out alive is by breaking his bracelets, forcing him back into the darkness. Number 16. Andross, Star Fox 64.
It's foolish to come against me.
Labeling Andross as a mad scientist is only scratching the surface. Working originally for the Cornerian army, he delved deeper and deeper into more dangerous territories, resulting in Cornerian lives being lost. After being exiled to the planet Venom, he continued to work on his experiments, diving deeper into his madness and declaring himself Emperor. It is unclear how, but through his mad experiments, his body was lost and he became a giant head and hands. Don't be fooled by the robotic decoy though. The real Andross battle ends when he becomes a giant brain. Gross.
So, Andross, you show your true form.
Number 15. The Crones, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Welcome, child of the Elder Blood.
This trio of witches, Brewess, Weavess, and Wispess, inhabit the swamps of Velen. Both praised and feared by locals as the ladies of the wood, sure, they are attractive when Ciri first meets them, but they're actually a bunch of old hags, always in search of their next meal.
Yum, yum.
What puts these living sacks of wrinkles on the list, however, is the fact that they appear immortal, using elixirs and cruel concoctions to keep themselves from aging and continue to appear as gorgeous women. Don't bother asking one of them for dinner. You'll be setting yourself up for the worst and last date of your life. Number 14. The Great Serpent. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Just when we thought this latest Souls-like would steer away from the more frightening concepts featured in From Software's past catalogue, this studio went ahead and threw in a colossal snake. This slithery sly serpent is no laughing matter either. To come out of this alive, you have to sneak past its stone-cold gaze and deal the creature several death blows. Just when you thought the nightmare was over, you find a second giant serpent lurking at the bottom of the sunken valley. The worst part is that this one is unkillable. Number 13. Dead Hand. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. As if redeads weren't enough to scare the living daylights out of us as kids, Nintendo had to go and conjure up this elegant monstrosity. Lying in wait at the bottom of the well, and later the Shadow Temple, Dead Hand is an amorphous blob-like creature, with a long craning neck, wide open mouth, and human-like teeth. To make matters worse, you first encounter him with young Link, when you're susceptible to more damage. Doesn't help that he's more detailed in the 3DS version. We can only assume that Dead Hand was the source of many, many nightmares. Number 12. Panzermörder. Call of Duty World War II. Just when you thought Nazi zombies had run its course in the scare department, along comes this Cronenberg fantasy. Made entirely of flesh and metal, this armor killer has final boss written all over it, and it's pretty dead set on ruining your day. It doesn't matter how much armor you've stocked up on, the Reich's secret weapon will make short work of it if you aren't careful. Try not to look at his disgusting structure for too long, or the nauseating sight might turn you from a zombie killing machine into a deer stuck in headlights. Number 11. Crocomire. Super Metroid. It may be short, but it's no less capable of spooking the player. While exploring the volcanic region of Norfair on the planet Zebes, bounty hunter Samus Aran is faced by an imposing creature known as Crocomire. Already rendered intimidating by its resistance to all conventional weapons, Crocomire's use of fireballs and claws raises its ability to evoke fear. Thus the battle is tense, with Samus having to push onward to ensure the beast's fiery demise. And that scream. And even then, Crocomire isn't just done. Okay, he's done. Number 10. Legion. Castlevania series. Fear it, for it is many. A recurring boss in the Castlevania series, Legion first appeared in Symphony of the Night, in the catacombs of Dracula's castle. Legion distinguishes itself from other foes in the player's path. First and foremost, it appears as a sphere, constructed from multiple layers of human bodies, disturbing in scope as in imagery. Legion also stands as a notable physical challenge. It can drop bodies from its surface as zombies, showering the surrounding chamber in corpses and firing difficult to evade beams. Legion is at once threatening as it is deeply unsettling. Number 9. The Keeper. The Evil Within. Probably best to keep clear of this fellow. In the 7th chapter of 2014's The Evil Within, players were brought face to face with the Keeper, a box-headed being with a knack for lethal injury. Designed to symbolize the past crimes hidden, the Keeper walks a fine line between being distinctive in its appearance and dangerous in actions. It wields both a large meat tenderizing hammer and a spike-filled sack, being all too willing to chase you down whenever it shows up. Add to that the debilitating use of barbed wire mines, and the result is a truly imposing game boss. Number 8. Tentacles. Half-Life. Aggressive from the outset, the Tentacles are not easily trifled with. As theoretical physicist Gordon Freeman makes his way through the devastated Black Mesa facility, it becomes necessary for him to cross through a rocket propulsion silo. There, he is faced with the extraterrestrial horror of a trio of tentacles, rooted by some means into the silo itself. Besides their ghoulish visual design, what makes the tentacles scary is their sheer resistance. They cannot be destroyed by Gordon's weapons. Fortunately, it's said that rocket engines are quite handy as a means of disinfectant. Number 7. The Sorrow. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. The spirit of the warrior will always be with you, and that's terrifying. Towards the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, CIA operative Naked Snake encounters a near-death experience by way of falling into a river and bringing him before the Sorrow.
I am the sorrow. Like you, I too am filled with sadness.
The ghost of an elite soldier, the Sorrow has a unique gift in life, being able to summon and embody the souls of the dead. In death, he brings forth any soldier felled by Snake, while also firing mental bursts and forcing Snake to trudge through a purgatory-like realm. Though true fear comes from Snake's chilling scream at a fake game over screen. Number 6. The Butcher. Diablo. The Butcher stands as one of several Overlord demons in service of the prime evil Mephisto, being particularly notable in its brutality. Players who opt to undertake the quest to vanquish said demon are greeted with mutilated bodies and an imposing horned beast wielding a cleaver. Coupled with its blood-splattered attire and relentless desire to kill, the Butcher is a true terror to behold, and not for the faint of heart.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
Number 5. The Rat King. The Last of Us Part 2.
There's a reason we haven't touched this area yet. It was ground zero for the whole city, where they brought the first infected before anyone knew better.
It's very easy to forget that under all the drama and emotion in its broken world, that at its core, The Last of Us gameplay is deeply rooted within survival horror. While the bloaters were already a scary sight to behold, they were mere appetizers for what was awaiting us in the hospital basement in Part 2. Get a load of this thing! The result of multiple infected individuals, trapped together in isolation for 20 years, fusing together into this walking nightmare. The battle starts off as a terrifying chase sequence, but eventually you have to fight it. And don't get too close or else it will kill you without breaking a sweat. Number 4. Marguerite Baker. Resident Evil 7.
Now with me, we're gonna settle this!
One of the most memorable ways in which this franchise's return to glory distinguishes itself is by making each member of the Baker family represent a subgenre of horror. Jack represents slasher flicks, Lucas embodies psychological horror, and Marguerite was, body horror. Needless to say, Capcom succeeded in making our stomachs churn with her character's design. Really, what is more frightening than the old woman was her lower half is a freaking bug's nest, and her centipedes pouring out of her mouth. This was a boss fight we may have won, but it cost us more than our lunch. Number 3. Photoshop Flowey. Undertale. With all the teachings of inclusivity and the silly antics, Photoshop Flowey shocked and frightened many. After killing Asgore and absorbing all the souls of human children, Flowey transforms into a horrifying amalgamation of metal, organ, and flowers. Possessing nearly godlike powers, rather than just simply killing you, he refuses to let you save and continue onward. Crashing your game and reloading you back into the same battle, taunting you at every turn, he somehow manages to grow even more terrifying as the battle moves on, changing shape as the faces on his monitor stare you down. There's a reason Undertale fans call this guy God Flowey. Number 2. Gygus, Earthbound. Embodying the power of evil itself, the alien Gygus is encountered in the climax of Earthbound. Confronted by kid heroes Ness and his company, the heroes are taken to a dimension of pure darkness, and glance upon the swirling horror that is Gygus. Said to be inspired by a scene from 1957's Japanese film The Military Policeman and the Dismembered Beauty, Gygus' vaguely twisted form fits with the unknowable nature of Gygus himself. Thus, the terror at play here is based on how little is understood about Gygus, and how uncomfortable that makes the audience. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Pyramid Head, Silent Hill 2. Nothing like a creature with geometry for a head to send us fleeing. Meant to represent protagonist James Sunderland's desire for punishment, Pyramid Head takes its concept to heart. Be it brutalizing other monsters in town of Silent Hill, or chasing down James with its massive blade, Pyramid Head's persistence is matched by its cruelty and mysterious nature. It kills without mercy, disappears and reappears by its own accord, and doesn't spell out its reason for being until the very end. If ever something were to frighten us to its core, this would be it. In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.